Happy day, students. I welcome you all for class 5 computer science. This is video 2 for lesson 5 more on MS Word 2007. Now on the last video we saw about various options like formatting and subscript, finding, replacing and creating header and footer in MS Word. Now we are going to see the other options of it. Working with tab, indenting text, line spacing, setting a margin for the printout for paper orientation. You want to just look into about the paper size, previewing a document and printing a document. Let's get into the lesson, students. We are going to look into working with tab. Now what is a tab? You all know tab key is used to move the cursor at a certain space in a document. So you by default the tab stops will be always are set every 0.5 inches, and we can also set a tab stop along with the ruler according to our requirement. We can also give our own kind of a setting also. And you also know when we press the tab key, the cursor automatically jump to the next tab, that is to the next place after that particular specific. So how do we set it? So steps for setting a tab. First, click on the page layout tab. In the page layout tab, click on paragraph or dialog box would appear and select a tab. Then type a tab position in tab where you want to stop it in this position box. Okay, and then select the type of alignment option and click set, and set a tab at 3.5 because here we have given a 3.5. You can give your own value and click OK. Next one, we are coming to the indenting text. Indenting, it is the feature which is used to move the complete paragraph when we are typing, right? Okay, or the first line to a specific number of place from left or on the right margin. Say like we can leave space sometime, right? So like that, like it's a specific space. We have seen a alignment of paragraph where the entire text or the document shifts to the left. But if you want a particular word or a sentence to shift only that particular, in this you can do it. There are various indenting options, like if you see first line, it has been indented. And on the second paragraph, you can see it, the right indenting is being used. And you can also have a decrease indent and increase indent option also. That is where you wanted to increase the space or decrease the space, and for that also it is being used. Okay. And there is also one more option called hanging indent. That's a different one. Okay. Now each time when you click on the increase button, what happens? The paragraph will move half an inch away from the left margin. So when we also adjust the indent by dragging method, and we need to select the paragraph and drag the first line indent, so the left or the right indent, you can just do it and it will come. Changing line space. So when we write, so what we say? Please don't write sharply, we'll say. That's the same way, like what would we say? We need a space. If you write it continuously, what will happen? Will it be visible? No. Likewise, even when we are typing a document also, it appears, the rule appears. So how do we give a spacing between the lines? There are options to it. You don't have to worry. There is an automatical enable feature which is called line spacing. It's the vertical distance between the continuous lines of the text in a document. We can also increase or decrease the line spacing between a paragraph. Between the lines, we can give increase and decrease throughout the page or for one particular line, any line. It's just you need to select it. Okay. How do we use it? Go to the home tab. Go to the paragraph group. And you can see line and paragraph spacing option will come. You can look at the screen where I've put the arrow mark for you for the justification. I'm sorry, for the understanding. So when you click onto it, a drop down list box will appear. In the screenshot 1, you can see it like line spacing. You want for 1.0, 1.15, 1.5, 2. So you can just click on to whichever the option you want and choose it and automatically you can see the changes will appear. And if you see there's lots of space in between and you wanted to remove a space also, there's an option called remove. If you click onto it, the space will be removed for you. Now, another method of it is like we need to select a text and we need to click on line spacing button in the paragraph group and in the home tab, and then we need to select the desired option of line spacing from the drop down list. Okay, that is the one which we saw in the first. Now the other method, to set more, okay, more spacing, we need to click on line spacing option from the drop down list box. The paragraph dialog box will appear as I shown in this picture. Select the desired option under the spacing section, whatever the spacing you want, whether it is a single, multiple or whatever it is, and number the position and before spacing, after spacing, whatever it is, and down you have a column called preview and you can see to it accordingly. If you want to do any changes, you can do it and click on OK. You can see the spacing of your paragraph has been done. Setting a margin. What is margin? It is a line. So we always have a line in between when we are writing. The same way even in the typing also. It will look neat. So how do we set it? So the distance between the text and the edge of a paper is called margin. So what? It allows you to set a margin on 4 sides, say top, bottom, left and right. Okay. And example, as I said, so how do we do it? So in the page layout, in the page layout tab, you click onto it and there is an option. If you just click onto it, there is an option called margin. Click onto that margin button and you can see there's lots of format which is appearing. So normal, narrow, moderate, wide, mirror, there are lots of options. It's like a options which it gives you, which will have a default margin which is being set like the point or rural will be lural. Sorry, the margin rule will be fixed. Okay, so you can click onto it however you want it to and click OK. You can see the effect. Setting a paper orientation. Now this feature, it will be useful for us when we take a printout or basically for the printout, paper orientation, how you want the paper to appear before we take a printout. That's called as in setting paper orientation. That is, before you take a printout or say you can have a paper on the straight or on the like a rectangular shape. Okay, there are two options. If you keep the page in the straight, it is called portrait and landscape. There are two types of orientation you can find. So the default, the setting of a paper is portrait, which would display the page in the vertical order. Okay, to change the orientation, what we need to do, click onto it on the orientation button and the page layout. And what we need to do, so portrait or landscape, whichever you want it, and click OK. You can see our paper getting changed. Okay, so how do we, where do we have a preview? For that I'm going to say after I have an setting of a paper size. After you do this, we have to go to the paper size. In the preview option, I'll tell you everything. The paper. So, now normally in your house you will have an A4 sheet, okay, but there are different types of paper size depending upon the printer and depending upon the machine's thing, depend on the type of the printer we use. There are many options like A3, A4, execute, legal. It's a type of paper setting up. So when you just go to a big shop, these are available depending upon, like if you wanted it for a big plant or you want it a smaller way or something, there are lots of paper setting option accordingly. So usually when we take a printout at the home, it is A4 size. Okay, so where do we do it? Where do we have this option? You need to go to the page layout, go to the page setup, select the paper size, click on preview. You can see the preview option here and click OK to it and you will see the change. Okay, first it's mandatory that you need to check whether the paper size is correct and according to your print quality. We come to the preview and printing document. As I was saying you, like in the page orientation about the landscape and the portrait. So how do we see a preview? Say how will your landscape or the option or how your paper will come before we take a printout. So that is called as a preview. So it's a viewing. So it offers, Word actually offers a facility to preview your document before sending it to a print. So if you feel if any 1 or 2 lines on the second page, if you want everything to be aligned in one page, so before we take a printout, we can see the preview, and with that we can take a printout. So how do we do it? So click on the office button or the file button. There is a list of options will come. Click on print, and can you see a binocular option? That is a magnifying glass option, which is called print preview. If you click onto it, if you see on the right hand side, a paper will appear, and if you have more than 2 or 3 pages, if you keep on scrolling it or click on the arrow button, you can see all the pages preview. And if you're fine with it, you can click on the enter button and then click again go to the print, and if you click on the print, the paper will be printed option. So now we are coming to the print. As I told you, just like for if in the same print option, for we clicked on print preview for previewing before we take a document. How do we give a print? When we give a print, there are certain things which we need to check it up. First one is the printer. Whether we selecting a correct printer, the name of the printer. So after clicking on the print button, okay, you click on print, and there is an option which will come. And in Word, in any document, we have an option of if you wanted to take multiple copies or single copies, there's an option where you can just check it in the copies. So you can just click on it, increase. Okay. And then before we do, first one, we need to check the number of copies and the printer. Sometimes some will have a color printer, some will have black and white, some will have both. So you need to choose accordingly, and you need to say print all pages or one side the other. There are lots of setting options will be there. Accordingly, you can give continuous printing. Or if you have say 5 pages and you don't want all the 5 pages, you want only the 4th page or the 3rd page, it is possible. So you can choose accordingly and put the page number which you want that particular document to be printed or the entire thing to be done. In the pages, you can just specify the number and click OK. Your page will be printed. One side paper also, like one or the other or whatever it is, they can skip and also take. There are many options available in the printing. So hope you must have understand the certain options of the preview, printing, and setting of the page in this lesson. So thank you. Have a nice day.